Starts now.
She calls me religiously, no matter what has ever happened to her.
From the day she went missing 33 days ago, friends and family knew something had to be wrong.
We're just hoping for the best and just trying to keep her in our prayers.
Prayers that barely wavered. With every plea, every poster, there was always a flicker of light. Miranda Goldman would come back home.
But a tip, alerting police to a body in a wooded area, answered prayers, but also possibly making their worst nightmare come true.
I'm just heartbroken. I want my baby girl back. And I don't know if that's going to happen now.
We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. Fox 16's Ken Bufa is back from Pine Bluff with how the family is simply waiting for the official word from police. Ken?
Kevin, Donna, relatives tell me they've waited more than a month already for news on their loved one, but waiting these last few hours, they say, may be the hardest wait yet.
Right now, our family is in limbo.
Dana Green says she and her family are waiting for news on her niece, Miranda Goldman.
We don't know where to turn, which direction to go in.
Police say after receiving the tip, they found a body in this wooded area north of Ohio and 38th in Pine Bluff, Friday around 8 a.m.
Devastated that this could possibly be my little Ruru.
Yet to be officially identified, authorities say it is likely the missing 23-year-old. Last seen outside this Goodwill after dropping off an application more than a month ago.
30 days, no contact. It's just not her.
In that time, the family could not wait and quickly spread the word. The hunter and sports enthusiast hadn't come home, posting flyers and holding vigils to keep her fresh in people's minds.
This is going to be when she first went missing.
Their efforts remain posted, just a few blocks away from where police found the body so decomposed they don't know for sure yet if it's Goldman's. And now the family says they're left waiting still.
I'm just heartbroken. I want my baby girl back. And I don't know if that's going to happen now.
Now, police say the body is being sent over to the crime lab, and they will share the results as soon as they come in. Kevin, Donna?
Hey, Ken, let me ask you this, though, and I don't know if you have all the answers right now, because I know this is just still being investigated, but the tip that just seemed to come out of nowhere 33 days later, any additional information on that? And what about the crime scene itself? Any additional evidence or clues that might help police there?
Well, police didn't elaborate on where they got this tip, but I can tell you about the crime scene. They say that the body, there was no obvious signs of any foul play on it, so they're just hoping the crime lab will identify more and tell them more on how that body got there and who it may belong to.
All right, Ken, stay on top of it. Keep us posted. Thanks.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Well, not a bad fall day out there. Actually, a little bit milder during the afternoon with high temperatures up into the low 70s. Good amount of sunshine. 70 around Hot Springs, 73 in Little Rock. Not sure where the 44 in DeQueen comes from. I was sure it's a little bit warmer than that there right now. 71 in Searcy. Temperatures this evening cooled back down a little bit, but it's actually still pretty mild, especially across the western half of the state. And the reason why we've seen an increase in cloud cover, that's holding the temperatures steady. A little bit cooler east, but still not as cool as it was last night. So actually comfortable enough to open up the windows tonight, let in some of that fresh air. It's not going to be as chilly for tonight and tomorrow morning. Here come those clouds across the state. Those clouds will start to thicken up during the overnight hours, but not expecting any rain. Taking a look at our forecast radar, here we go, 7 a.m. Notice a few showers beginning to develop across parts of western Arkansas. That's in association with the cold front that's going to sweep across the plains into the state very, very quickly. Notice those showers starting to build up as we go into the afternoon hours. 3 o'clock, some scattered showers and some isolated thunder. Notice the scattered nature of these showers. They will organize into a broken line, but there are going to be gaps in this line. So don't be surprised if this line of showers just misses you completely, because that's possible. But in a couple of spots, you may get hit by some heavier thunderstorms, and we'll have to watch out for any thunderstorm that really gets going tomorrow. Pretty strong wind field in the upper atmosphere, so that could cause a little bit of rotation with some of those heavier cells. So something to watch for tomorrow. Also the possibility of some very gusty winds in that line of storms begins to consolidate a little bit as it moves into eastern Arkansas late in the evening hours, and central Arkansas clears out. So here's a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. Dry for the morning hours, though a couple of isolated showers west. By about early afternoon, could be looking at a couple of isolated showers developing, especially west of the Little Rock metro area. Otherwise breezy and mild. The temperature is pushing 70 degrees by about lunchtime. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll detail the severe threat for tomorrow, plus take a look ahead into your weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. You remember this cell phone video. A North Little Rock Middle School student assaulting a fellow classmate on a bus about 2 months ago. Well, both students transferred to different districts. But Fox 16's Jesse Tenura got answers from North Little Rock School District officials about the assault that happened on their property and how they plan to move forward. Jesse.
Donna, the North Little Rock School District has a fleet of about 80 buses that run more than 115 routes. After this incident on one of them, the district is making sure all of the buses are safer.
That was pretty shocking just to see that.
Michael Stone says the district saw this video for the first time the day we aired it, November 5th. But the fight actually happened 2 months prior. Since then, the two students involved transferred to different districts, leaving behind unanswered questions.
So had we had video on our bus, maybe we could have had an accurate video of the account from start to finish.
That bus where the assault happened and about 40 other North Little Rock School District buses don't have cameras, but Stone says they will eventually.
As we replace the older buses, the new buses are retrofitted with the camera system on it already.
However, some students argue the extra surveillance doesn't necessarily make kids safer or better behaved.
It's not going to work. They don't care about the cameras.
The students say fights just happen on school buses, and drivers don't really intervene.
Most of them just stand up and just wait till they're done fighting or something. Just yell at them. It's too much. They have to focus on the road, then kids yelling.
A solution?
Make the bus drivers have a procedure for that.
There are protocols in place to assure the safety of our students.
Rules like pull off the road, call police if something like this happens. Stone says since this incident happened 2 months ago, he doesn't know how the driver of the bus reacted.
We just don't know if the bus driver did the right thing or not. I hadn't spoken to the bus driver personally about that.
And it cost the district $65,000 to $80,000 for one new bus and about $60,000 for radios in its current buses. Stone says it's a small price to pay to make sure students are safe.
It's still hard to watch that video, and I'm kind of shocked that that's the first time they actually saw it.
Exactly.
I know some of these bus drivers go through training on their own, but in light of the video that we saw, which was pretty severe, is the district considering maybe implementing new protocols for bus drivers, even for the students, so something can be learned and improved upon?
They didn't talk about anything that they were going to directly kind of relate to students, but they did say from the bus driver's angle that they do hold these monthly training sessions, and they said that they would address it in the next monthly training session, but Stone wouldn't tell me exactly what new protocols or training could come from it. I think they're still trying to figure all that out.
Sure.
And you know, I can only imagine what the bus driver is going through when this is happening on his or her bus and they're trying to drive.
Exactly. It's a lot for bus drivers to handle anyway, you know, and saying that he hadn't talked to the bus driver yet, maybe that conversation needs to be had as well.
And then intervening, I mean, that's a risk in and of itself.
Exactly.
For a number of reasons.
There are so many variables here, but hopefully they can figure it out soon.
Yeah, we'll stay on top of it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, there is a new push tonight to find Malik Drummond. You may remember that name. That's the 2.5-year-old who went missing in Searcy about a year ago. Fox 16's Stephanie Sharp spoke with law enforcement who now believe there is someone out there who knows what happened.
Yeah, Donna, a big development indeed. Searcy police say through the investigation, they believe that there is a person who knows more about what happened that night he went missing. Now, that's why the FBI has announced a new $20,000 reward. It's for anyone who helps bring a conclusion to the case. Searcy police say they still get all kinds of tips that they thoroughly investigate, but mostly from out of state. Now, this has been the first official reward offered. The reason why, they now believe someone out there knows more.
You know, developing through the investigation, it has come to our attention that there is somebody now that knows. They just have not come forward yet.
Now, if you know anything and you would like to put your hat in for that, put your name in for that reward, contact law enforcement and help this bring it all to an end. We posted that number and all the information you need to know on our website, fox16.com.
You know what, Stephanie, a few months ago I was at the FBI office and I was talking to them about this particular case, and they said whenever a child goes missing, it's all hands on deck. The FBI jumps in to help, and I'm assuming that's what happened in this case. And I know today, at least I believe, you didn't talk with the FBI, but I know you talked with police, obviously. How much time are they putting into finding Malik?
You know, Searcy Police, they actually have a law enforcement officer or an investigator that spends all of their time investigating this case, looking at all of those leads and really following up on everybody with those cases. So one investigator at the Searcy Police Department that just dedicates her time to investigating it all, and they are all hopeful that it will come to a conclusion, and hopefully soon.
I think a lot of people feel that way. All right, Stephanie, thank you.
A judge in Oklahoma has issued a gag order in the case of Adacia Chambers.
Chambers is the woman charged with murder after she plowed her vehicle into a crowd at an Oklahoma State University parade.
4 people were killed, including a 2-year-old boy and 3 adults. Fox's Jennifer Falsetti at the courthouse today and has more on the hearing.
For the first time, we see Adacia Chambers appear physically before a judge. While our cameras were not allowed inside, we saw her appear in bright orange, calm, even waving and smiling to her family. Only speaking once, a soft tone in her voice. Since the crash on October 20th, we've learned new details about Chambers, but that will now come to an end. The judge issuing a gag order for all involved, including family members and victims. Before that was issued, Adacia's boyfriend spoke briefly with reporters.
I know it happened, even though it does still seem like a bad thing, but it happened, and yeah, can't change that.
Just 1 week after we learned Chambers is believed to be bipolar, the judge now ordering all medical records be sealed. He also ordered she complete an evaluation at a state-run facility to determine if she's competent to stand trial. Plus, recorded conversations between Chambers and her attorney, Tony Coleman, at Stillwater Police the day of the crash will also be sealed, but will not be used as evidence in this trial.
And it's a new judge now overseeing the trial. Judge Lewis Duell of Logan County has been appointed after Judge Catherine Thomas recused herself, claiming to know one of the victims.
Well, the stakes are high for 5 million illegal immigrants living in the U.S. as President Obama's plans to protect them are challenged by the Court of Appeals. In a 2-to-1 decision, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a Texas-based federal judge's injunction blocking the president's plan. Republicans feel the president overstepped his authority in deciding to allow certain groups of illegal immigrants, such as children, to remain here.
The president does not have the unilateral authority to grant amnesty to millions of people. And what this federal court of appeals said is the rule of law still applies even to the president of the United States of America.
In an effort to keep the president's plan in play, the Department of Justice says it's, quote, working to resolve the immigration litigation as quickly as possible in order to allow DHS to bring greater accountability to our immigration system by prioritizing the removal of the worst offenders, not people who have long ties to the U.S. and who are raising American children.
Curtis Coleman filed paperwork to challenge U.S. Senator John Boozman in next year's Republican primary. Tonight, we're learning about tens of thousands of dollars in debt from a previous campaign. Federal Election Commission filings show Coleman owes nearly $80,000 from his 2010 race for Senate.
Obligations left from the previous Senate race that we are still negotiating, including one that we don't know what it was for, and we're talking to those people. We'll have those cleared up by the end of the year.
And Coleman tells us most of the money he loaned himself, and much of the rest he owes to a family member for leasing office space during his campaign.
Handicapped parking spots. You see them every time you pull into a parking lot, but not everyone who uses them is disabled. Coming up, what one group is doing to target violators and why the fines alone will have you thinking twice before you pull in and put your car in park.
And it gives new meaning to feeling the burn. A Benton County man says his e-cig exploded and his mouth went up in flames, literally. Why he now calls himself a guinea pig and what he plans to do about it.
You're watching Fox 16 News at 9 with Donna Terrell, Kevin Kelly, sports with Wes Moore, and Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin. You're watching Fox 16 News at 9.
Family. It's more than just genetics. It's who you can count on, who you can trust. That's why at DeBose Heating and Air, every client becomes part of the bunch.
So give us a call at 444-COLD. We'll treat you like family.
And I promise that's a good thing. Black Friday starts now at Cleo's Furniture. You will find amazing Black Friday prices throughout the entire store. As always, most items are in stock and ready for same-day pickup or next-day delivery. Hurry into Cleo's today and save.
So I finally mastered the art of selfie taking. Kind of like we've mastered the art of giving the best prices at Steve Landers Kia.
Check this stuff out. I got me one of these new sticks. This is a 2016 Kia Soul. I can show all our inventory off, walk around the car. All right, guys, let's give them a little selfie. Me and Freddie will do one. I love this thing. Here's my best salesman, Anthony. Anthony, let's give him a duck face.
Shop Steve Landers Kia for the best prices in Arkansas and see for your selfie.
Selfies.
As a Ford employee, I get to give my friends a special deal on cars, trucks, and SUVs.
It's friends and neighbors pricing, and for a limited time, we're letting everyone in on this deal.
That doesn't happen every day.
And you can see the low price at Ford.com.
There it is.
And that's the low price you'll pay.
It's that easy. You don't have to negotiate. It's hassle-free.
It's an inside deal.
Now for everyone.
Now you can get an F-150 using friends and neighbors pricing, offering a value of $10,388. It's an inside deal, only at your local Ford dealer.
Successful hunters know the gear, firepower, and ammo you have make the difference. Max Prairie Wings has been providing what you need for a successful hunt for over 70 years. Savannah jacket and pants, $39.99 each. Lacrosse pull-on boots, $79.99. Walls insulated wader jacket and bib, $59.99 each. And Ameristep doghouse blind, $49.99. Plan your successful hunt now. At Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart, the hunt begins here.
Hi, I'm Hank Henderson, inviting you to pick out the vehicle you want for just $199 down. How does it work? Just bring in your latest check stub and let us show you how easy it is to buy. We'll do a refund estimate with TaxMax, and you can drive away today. Save your holiday cash with $199 down delivered. Come check us out and see where we continue to earn the repeat business of so many customers. America's Car Mart. Drive easy.
Hurry in to Cleo's Furniture today and take advantage of our Black Friday specials. Interest-free financing is available on all Black Friday deals. Supplies are limited, so don't miss out. Hurry in to one of Cleo's 14 locations today and save.
Fox 16, winner of the Edward R. Murrow Award and 2 2015 Emmy Awards. Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Nice and mild out there tonight, calm, all of the things you would want in your weather, and then tomorrow night is going to be dramatically different.
Yeah, tomorrow is some storms popping up during the day as we have a cold front race through the state, so a pretty big change as we go through the day. Starting off a bit mild and then some storms and then turning breezy and cooler.
Yeah, you look at the big picture and it looks like the central part of the U.S. is going to get hammered, but we might dodge it for the most part.
Some areas may, because it's going to be a broken line of storms. Not expecting a whole lot of rain, so some areas are going to miss it, but a couple of spots could get hit by some heavy thunderstorms. Sure. Let's take a look at what we have as far as our severe risk. The main severe risk with this system is actually going to miss Arkansas to the north. That's where an area of low pressure is going to track almost right through Missouri and into Illinois, and right along and just on the south side of that low. That's where conditions will be most favorable for strong strong to severe thunderstorms, but as you head southward, conditions a little bit less favorable, although the cold front sweeping on through is going to be able to trigger a couple of isolated strong to severe thunderstorms in this yellow slight area across the state, and most of the state at risk for at least an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm. The main risks with any storms tomorrow are going to be some very gusty winds. Even outside of storms, it's going to be quite windy, especially as the front comes on through. Some gusts over 30 miles per hour and stronger in thunderstorms. Not out of the question, some of these stronger cells may rotate a little bit, so there is going to be at least some marginal tornado threat associated with those storms, but only for a few hours for tomorrow. The window of opportunity for severe weather isn't really that big. Also, some isolated hail not out of the question, especially in the early afternoon. Not expecting any flood threat as the storms will be very fast moving. Taking a look at the satellite and radar, clouds increasing across the state. That's ahead of a system now coming across the Rockies. Pretty strong upper air energy now coming across parts of Colorado towards the Denver area. That's going to move into the plain states and start tapping into some of the warmer air that's now advancing northward through the plain states, where temperatures are still in the 60s and 70s. Pretty mild across parts of the state as well. Northwest Arkansas still in the low 60s. Not too bad for this time of year. It's 54 around Clinton, 57 in Batesville. A little bit cooler farther east where skies are a little bit more clear. 60 right now, still hanging on to 60 in Little Rock. And temperatures low to mid 60s south and southwest, a bit cooler in Camden and Monticello at 57. Right now in Little Rock, mainly clear skies, although a few of those high, thin clouds, but you can't really see them at night. 60 degrees right now. Winds out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour. So the combination of those winds picking up a little bit and cloud cover increasing, going to keep those temperatures up a little bit tonight compared to the last couple of nights. Tomorrow morning, a few showers starting to break out ahead of our front, but mainly dry for the morning hours. So heading off to work or taking the kids to school, don't expect much in the way of any rainfall, though the clouds will be thickening on up. Now, as we get towards about after lunchtime, notice about 2 o'clock, some of these showers start organizing into some isolated thunderstorms, and that's when we're going to have the risk for some strong to severe storms, especially after 2 o'clock, right through the late afternoon hours and into the early evening hours, and those storms start to rapidly move east. Notice by 9 o'clock, those storms already moving across the Mississippi River and clearing out across central Arkansas. So from, say, by the time we get to about dinner time, the storm threat really is going to quickly move out to our east. Cold front sweeps on through tomorrow night, cooler and drier for Thursday. Lots of sunshine as we round out the week. High pressure building on in. That's going to mean for a couple of chilly mornings, especially Saturday morning, where some frost not out of the question in some locations. So for tomorrow, starting off rather mild, mostly cloudy skies, upper 50s near 60 degrees, warming up quickly. A few storms developing, especially afternoon, becoming windy. Some wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. Temperatures up into the 70s ahead of that front. So storms move eastward during the evening hours, turning breezy and cooler. So for tomorrow, central Arkansas, mid 70s with some isolated thunderstorms, 60s or upper 60s to low 70s north, mid 70s south. Some spots possibly even in the upper 70s where you get some breaks of sunshine across parts of south, central, and southeast Arkansas. Here's a look at that extended forecast. Cooler as we go into Thursday and Friday. Saturday morning, that's going to be our chilliest morning to kick off the weekend, 39 degrees. And again, colder with some patchy frost possible in a few spots. A little bit milder, but rain back in the picture by the early part of next week. We'll be right back after this.
Family owned, customer friendly is more than just a slogan. It's a better way to buy a car and the right way to do business. Come see us and discover the difference at Everett Buick GMC, I-30 at the Alcoa exit.
How do you connect with your customers while staying ahead of the digital revolution? Tactive Digital is the partner you can rely on to help navigate the ever-evolving digital marketing landscape. To schedule your free digital analysis, visit tactivedigital.com.
There's a sound a ball makes when it catches nothing but net. Everyone loves that sound, that precision. At GMC, we get that. Nothing separates the men from the boys like nothing but net. This is precision. This is GMC.
Get cash back for 15% of the MSRP on select Sierra 1500 models in stock the longest. That's $7,700 on this Sierra.
Do you have a teenage son with a hollow leg and 2 stomachs? Then this is the pizza for you. Papa Murphy's 5-meat stuffed pizza. 5 types of premium meat stuffed between 2 layers of scratch-made dough. Home bake a large for $12. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
We talk about being your jeweler for life, and I mean it. We all mean it here. That's what's important. We try and take care of our customers. We want you to come back. We cherish that. So come see us at Cecil's. See what it's all about.
Cecil's Fine Jewelry. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you?
What do you think about the Good Day crew here?
Oh, they're awesome. In the morning, would you rather me give you a haircut or get the latest in the traffic? Please give me the traffic.
Put you in a good mood. It brightens up your day. Me and my son watch you guys in the morning.
I think that's probably why I watch it so much. Could you say it helps you have a good day?
A real good day, yes. Gets my morning started.
Then I'm watching you guys, and I get a smile on my face before I leave the door. It's just a great, great morning.
Fox 16 Good Day, weekday mornings from 7 to 9.
If you haven't been to Everett Buick GMC, we'd like to invite you to come see us and experience what family-owned, customer-friendly really means. There is a difference. Everett Buick GMC, I-30 at the Alcoa exit.
What does it take? You train, you ask yourself, what does it take? You work, you ask yourself, what does it take? You push yourself, you train harder, you have to. What does it take? Work, sweat, pain, but is it enough? Are you enough? You can't be afraid. You have to be bold, confident, uncompromising. You have to be fearless.
What are you? Fearless! What are you? Fearless! What are you? Fearless! Fearless! Fearless!
Fox 16 News is sponsored by Everett Buick GMC. You're watching Fox 16 News at 9. Covering Hot Springs, Bryant, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight we're live in our parking garage that's connected to our building because we want to point out a problem that's happening around the country and definitely right here in Arkansas.
Yeah, and the problem we're talking specifically about has to do with these. Booker, our photographer, is going to zoom in. We're talking about handicapped parking spots, Donna.
Yeah, oftentimes drivers will pull into these parking spaces without a handicap placard or license plate. And too many times they get away with it.
But that's about to change. In fact, Fox 16 Shannon Miller driving up as we speak to explain how law enforcement is stepping up patrols to target violators and the fines that come with it. Shannon, what'd you find out?
Well, Kevin, a lot of times when these drivers pull into these spots, they think I'll just be here for a few minutes. Not a big deal. But for those who are approved to use the spots, they say taking them up can totally change their day.
It's behind the wheel where Erin Gilner's life changed forever.
April of 2002 was when I had my car wrecked.
And every day since, Gilner says her life in the driver's seat is dictated by others.
People don't understand that these spots are here for a reason. They just assume that it's for somebody that's lazy.
For Gilner, handicapped accessible parking isn't always so accessible.
It's frustrating, especially when I see somebody just sitting in their vehicle waiting on somebody.
We took a ride with Gilner around several Little Rock shopping centers and within minutes found several violators.
If I wanted to park here, there's no way that I could because they're both taken. And that person is parked in the aisle, so I wouldn't be able to get out.
You could find them. You know, you can stand by. They're going to come out shortly.
Captain Carl Minden with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office is part of the Accessible Parking Task Force.
See, look, we've already found one violation.
A group dedicated to enforcing accessible parking in Arkansas.
It's really something that, you know, I wish we could devote a lot more time to just having deputies, you know, patrolling parking lots.
Minden says the majority of violators are caught after caller complaints, but just one pass through a South Little Rock shopping center and we catch 2 violators.
She was very polite about it. She didn't realize she had pulled in the spot. She was trying to park close because she was pregnant.
While Minden issued the driver a warning, Arkansas law says violators face a minimum fine of $100 to $500 for a first-time offense and up to $1,000 the second time.
We felt like that it needed to be beefed up a little bit.
Patty Rogers with the Arkansas Spinal Cord Commission says recent legislation brought up last session hit a roadblock, but would stiffen the penalty for illegally parking in the spots and includes revoking violators' licenses.
They don't have a record of those people that go to court for that violation because they didn't actually get a citation.
Rogers says over the last 6 months, the commission has received more than 200 reports of accessible parking violations through its complaint form, but estimates there are hundreds includes more across the state that have never been reported.
There's numerous challenges and barriers.
Gilner says she supports tougher penalties for violators.
We want to participate in community life like anybody else.
In hopes that less drivers will take spots meant for her after she takes the wheel.
And again, according to the Arkansas Spinal Cord Commission, there are hundreds of these violators that are never reported, but actually you can help by filling out one of these complaint forms, and actually you can take a picture of the violator and submit it with this form, and that'll give them some better idea of these numbers that they're seeing with these violators.
Wow.
Well, Shannon, you mentioned earlier that some of the advocates were trying very hard to get legislators to strengthen the penalties for people who violate the laws. It didn't happen. What happens next? Are they going to keep trying?
They absolutely are. They've already got the laws all written up. The legislation is already prepared. They're going to try to go again this next legislative session to get some tougher penalties in place.
I tell you what, the fines that you mentioned in the package, those are significant. If that doesn't catch your attention, I'm not sure what will.
And they could go up from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
Keep it right here on Fox 16. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
This season, get ready for the event you don't want to miss. It's the Season of Audi sales event. Brighten up your holiday with the exceptional offers at the Season of Audi sales event.
Hi, I'm Sandy Wilson with Wilson's Home Improvement Company. If you are considering new windows for your home, don't wait for the cold winter months to get here. At Wilson's, you can get your new windows now and pay for them next year. We've also started our winter pricing on windows only. So don't wait. Call now and take advantage of our financing and our winter pricing for windows. And remember, at Wilson's, you will always get the best of the best for less.
And this is our 2016 XLE Camry. And as always, lowest price guaranteed.
That's what Steve said.
We have no idea where it's coming from. Probably saw something on TV. If I had to guess, he's not even doing it right.
Hey, welcome to Steve Landers. Okay, thanks for coming in. Steve Landers, that's what Steve said, okay? Thank you. You know, this is great. I don't know why I didn't think of this deal sooner. Thanks for coming by here. Okay, that's what Steve said. You might need that. Thank you.
A lot of people don't know that we're a family-owned jewelry store, but Cecil's has been here since 1975. And we have worked very hard to keep this reputation alive and well and build upon it.
Cecil's Fine Jewelry. We want to be your jeweler for life.
As a Ford employee, I get to give my friends a special deal on cars, trucks, and SUVs.
It's friends and neighbors pricing, and for a limited time, we're letting everyone in on this deal.
That doesn't happen every day.
And you can see the low price at Ford.com.
There it is.
And that's the low price you'll pay.
It's that easy. You don't have to negotiate. It's hassle-free. It's an inside deal.
Now for everyone.
Now you can get an F-150 using friends and neighbors pricing, offering a value of $10,388. It's an inside deal, only at your local Ford dealer.
There's a new home for hope and healing, where advanced treatment and compassionate care join hands to create one of the largest facilities in the South, completely devoted to fighting cancer. Designed with patients and their caregivers in mind, including easy access to clinics and beautiful views to make the path to healing that much easier. Because the way you view your cancer treatment can be tremendously improved by the view from your cancer treatment. Cartai, cancer-focused, patient-centered.
This season, get ready for the event you don't want to miss. It's the Season of Audi sales event. Brighten up your holiday with the exceptional offers at the Season of Audi sales event.
Fox 16 News is brought to you by Cartai. You're watching Fox 16 News at 9. Covering Sherwood, Maumelle, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
If you Google e-cigarette explosions, you will find news article after news article after news article. They pop up everywhere.
And wouldn't you know it, a Benton County man has just been added to the list.
Yeah, Lauren Conley spoke with Josh Schwartz. He's stitched up and out of work as he fights through the pain of healing.
I
put it to my mouth, and as soon as I pressed the button on the bottom, the device exploded.
Struggling to speak, Josh Swartz slowly explains what he says happened on Friday night.
As soon as it exploded, I just had this intense pain and burning inside my mouth and my throat.
His wife Cindy says she was headed to the garage to meet Josh when she heard what sounded like a gunshot and saw flames shooting from the garage.
And that's when I looked back and I found my husband bent over here in the garage and gasping for air, and he couldn't even speak to me.
Josh suffered burns to his mouth, throat, and hand, shattered teeth, and severed lips.
It was hanging down, and this entire piece here had to be put back into place, and there's a hole through my lip down here.
The couple believes the battery is to blame.
And so this, we believe, is the stuff that came out of the battery. There's more of it inside the battery.
The electronic cigarette broke into pieces during the explosion.
We're all just guinea pigs.
They say they were never warned of possible dangers, but they hope to help change that.
And until we speak up and try to share with other people that these are dangerous and they can happen to you, then people aren't going to know.
Wow. The couple, by the way, is meeting with a lawyer this week in hopes of recouping medical costs. They also hope this incident will lead to more regulations, including warning signs inside shops.
A Fox 16 crime alert tonight. Dozens of people rounded up as part of a program targeting crime and corruption in eastern Arkansas. 47 people in and around Helena, West Helena, now facing federal charges on criminal drugs, guns, and fraud. 24 people were indicted on SNAP fraud charges. SNAP is the federal food assistance program. The district attorney says the suspects traded their benefits for beer and cigarettes at the Stop and Shop store. The store owner kept 40% of the money and gave 60% back to the customer. It added up to more than $250,000 in fraud.
Today's operation is reaffirming that promise and reaffirming that commitment that I have made to helping the people in this community and all up and down the Arkansas Delta, ridding their communities of drugs and other frauds and other things like that.
And today's arrest is part of Operation Plastic Castle and Operation Delta Blues, part of the Organized Crime and Drug Enforcement Task Force.
Time now for a Fox 16 News update. Benton police are now looking into a halfway home that's attracted controversy after opening recently in a nearby neighborhood. The Solution House is operated by Broken Chain Ministries. We shared the story with you last night, but here's the update. There are concerns now after police have learned the person running the program is a convicted child sex offender. Benton's mayor and city attorney have asked police to investigate all homes operated by Broken Chain Ministries.
Well, Little Rock police say social media helps and hurts their search for criminals. Take a look at this video. A homeowner caught it on camera just last week, and it was posted to social media hours later. Caught red-handed, the criminal stole furniture off her porch. Police say while social media posts are great and they help identify crooks, they also give the thieves a heads up that police are onto them.
They don't realize they're wanted yet, and then we throw them out on social media. They start getting phone calls from their friends saying, hey, you're wanted by Little Rock Police Department.
And police want us to remind you that they do want to protect you. So if you see something wrong in the neighborhood, before you log on to Facebook, call them and have them check it out instead.
In a Fox 16 money alert, one of the most well-known and largest real estate companies in Northwest Arkansas facing a lawsuit filed by a former tenant. The suit against Lindsay Management claims a penalty clause in their apartment contract is illegal. The lawsuit says a former tenant owes Lindsay more than $1,600 in liquidated damages for breaking her lease. The suit argues that clause is illegal under Arkansas's Deceptive Trade Practices Act.
In a Fox 16 health alert tonight, lawmakers pour over the state's Medicaid system today at the Capitol. The task force nearing an end-of-the-year deadline to make recommendations for reforms to programs providing health care to low-income and disabled Arkansans. Using a managed care company is one idea. A report from consultants hired to assess the system noted Arkansas is one of a small number of states not using managed care, something they say is beneficial in lowering Medicaid costs while often seeing quality improvement.
managed care is definitely in the loop of that, and I think it has to stay on the table.
But the others worry managed care companies would save money by cutting reimbursements to doctors who then could not afford to treat Medicaid patients.
Well, there are a number of ways to score a goal while playing soccer. Direct free kick, indirect, penalty kick, even a bicycle kick.
That's right, if you know what those are. But one of the more popular ways to score is now under the spotlight. Why the governing body of soccer in the U.S. wants to ban little ones from heading the ball.
And lots of clouds around, but a dry start to the day. Mild temperatures in the 50s. A last look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
A lot of people hire Wilson auctioneers to conduct their auction because they know they're going to have a done deal. It's not subject to financing. It's subject to closing within 30 days, and we attract qualified bidders. Sold it, sold it, sold it, $1,715,000.
Fire is catching, and all you need is a spark to set the world ablaze. So if you find that the odds are in your favor, add some fuel to the fire. See The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 November 20th and get fired up at Dodge's Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event on now. Get 0% financing for 75 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Dodge Charger SXT.
Okay, so what else can we do in the community?
Big Z could do parks and river cleanup.
Oh. Okay, big guy. You take it easy now. We're gonna get you home. Get him, Roger!
Or we could offer our celebration special meal.
Let's go with that idea.
The Celebration Special Meal. 4 chicken fingers, Texas toast, crinkle fries, Zax sauce, and a 32-ounce drink. Zaxby's, proud to serve our communities for 25 years.
There's a place where hard work is king, where people punch in early and leave late. And so is it any surprise that when a true hero is born, that they come from a place like this? Ram salutes the heroes of the Hunger Games. See The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 November 20th. Get 0% APR for 75 months on a 2015 Ram 1500 model now. Get 0% APR financing plus $7,000 in total values on the 2015 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
Mumford & Sons is on the road and coming to you live. An Arrow Through the Heartland Tour. April 7th, Verizon Arena. Check out Mumford & Sons' new album, Wilder Mind, available now. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Mumford & Sons.
Hey, new RAV4? Where are you off to?
Camping, caving, meteor shower, homecoming, Mardi Gras, teacher conference, fly fishing, base camp, herping.
Searching for amphibians.
Oh.
The 2015 Toyota RAV4. With more features and more tech, you're ready for anything. Right now, get $1,500 customer cash, or qualified customers can drive the adventurous 2015 RAV4 LE for only $199 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Fox 16 News, sponsored by Lone Oak Motors. You're watching Fox 16 News at 9, covering Heber Springs, Stuttgart, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
On the eve of Veterans Day, the state capitol is lit up in green tonight to honor veterans.
Yeah, and at the same time, the University of Central Arkansas is remembering graduates who lost their lives in World War II. Around campus, there are 47 plaques with names of UCA alumni who fought in World War II and died. UCA says it's a small way to say thank you to their veterans.
This is something people will think about all the time, and especially if you walk around campus, down this sidewalk in particular, you can see one plaque, then another, and I think it will really sort of pull people through this space every day and make them think about our veterans.
UCA says this project was a little over a year in the making. Good for them. In a Fox 16 safety alert, the U.S. Soccer Federation issuing new rules for children 13 and under in an effort to prevent concussions. Under the new rules, children 10 and younger will be prohibited from heading the ball during practice and games. Children 11 to 13 will be allowed to head the ball during games only, but not during practice in an effort to reduce repeated contact. However, concussion experts say heading the ball is not the primary source of all concussions.
Concussions are caused most commonly by player-to-player collisions, player hitting the ground hard, or a player actually being elbowed, kneed by another player.
Or going up for headers together, and all they hit are the heads. Yeah. Now, the announcement comes in the wake of a 2014 class action lawsuit by parents and players against U.S. Soccer and others for negligence in treating and monitoring head injuries. But right below football for the number of concussions, soccer.
I believe that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
Yeah.
We said that at the same time.
Yeah.
And Wes Moore is here from Ole Miss to LSU.
Won't be hard to get up for this one, will it?
No, not at all.
Night game in Death Valley. It's going to be another huge task for the Razorbacks, but the offense is ready for the challenge. We'll hear from Brandon Allen when we come back. Plus, we unveil the Fearless Friday Week 10 high school football rankings. And the Razorbacks are all set for the season opener. We'll see how they looked in tonight's final exhibition. Fox 16 Sports is next.
Hello folks, this is Jim Bullard. I want to invite you to Spa Auto Sales. Let me show you how easy car buying can be. There's a reason we've been in business for 30 plus years. It's because we take care of our customers before, during, and after the sale. And if it's on this lot, I have personally driven and inspected each and every one of these vehicles.
Spa Auto Sales, we're taking care of you. Before and after the sale, we're always here for you. Spa Auto Sales, taking care of you.
I knew that Arkansas Tech would help me stand out from the crowd.
But I didn't know I'd be standing out in front of the crowd.
I knew I wanted to be a part of Greek life.
But I didn't know Tech would change my life.
I knew Tech would help me become a leader.
But I didn't know Tech would lead me to graduate school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
It's easy to see why more than 12,000 students choose Tech. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
It's time to put on a jacket, lace up your boots, and do some hiking. Go get some fresh air at the top of a mountain this fall. At Smart Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Pine Bluff, we want to help you get outside and conquer nature. So come be a part of the Jeep Celebration event with us. With a Jeep Wrangler or a new Renegade, you won't need to follow paved roads. You'll make your own. So make the smart drive to Smart Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Pine Bluff or shop online at smartdrive.com.
We can't save too much money because we are in debt. Working with somebody at the bank is different. I don't really know what they can help us with. We're hoping to get a little guidance with buying a house and also just what to do financially. The Insights by Regions helped me see how we can save and pay off our debt at the same time and why we would want to do that. I feel so much better knowing that everything's taken care of. I'm so ready to take our next step.
The Tundra TRD Pro powered Team Toyota to victory in the world's most grueling race in Baja. But why should they have all the fun? With available 381 horsepower V8 and the latest technology, it also powers your winning weekends.
Right now, qualified buyers get 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,500 special edition cash on a 2016 Special Edition Tundra. Hurry into your local dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Around the clock, emergency specialists are on site at the state's only adult Level 1 trauma center. We have the most qualified orthopedic doctors helping our Kansans stay active. People come from every state and more than 50 countries for expert cancer treatment. And we educate the next generation of medical professionals who will care for you and your family. We are UAMS, and we're here for a better state of health.
Your Fox 16 Pinpoint Radar is sponsored by UAMS for a better state of health. Now, Fox 16 Sports with Wes Moore, powered by North Point Cars.
First SEC Offensive Player of the Week, now National Offensive Player of the Week. The Football Writers Association of America gave Brandon Allen the award today. Allen was almost perfect against Ole Miss. He threw for 6 touchdowns, but if you watch the passes, they're right on the money. That wasn't always the case. There were times this season Allen missed wide open receivers. Allen says his faith in his receivers has led to better throws.
You know, I think a lot of the guys on the team, our playmakers really helped me relax. Just because knowing that, you know, I can put the ball close to him and he's going to make a play. I can make this throw up here, and in the tighter coverage, he's going to make the play for me. And I think before I was kind of worried about making too tight of throws and things like that. And these guys have made plays for me left and right. And I think that just boosts my confidence.
The College Football Playoff Committee released its new rankings tonight. Clemson remains number 1. Alabama jumps up to number 2. Ohio State 3. Notre Dame 4. LSU fell to 9. Mississippi State, by the way, is 17. Speaking of rankings, the playoffs are here. The road to the Rock begins Friday. Let's check out the Fearless Friday rankings for Week 10. Fort Smith Southside is back at number 16. Prairie Grove is 15. Pocahontas 14. Bryant stays at 13. Hornets have a first-round bye. Nashville at 10-0 is number 12. Warren moves all the way up to 11. The Lumberjacks' lone loss came to Pulaski Academy. Little Rock Christian also unbeaten at number 10. Benton remains number 9 following a loss to Pine Bluff. PA sits at 10-0 and number 8. Dardanelle is also perfect, number 7. Cabot is 6. Panthers have a bye this week. Pine Bluff also off this week. The Zebras are 5. Fayetteville falls to 4. Bentonville moves ahead of the Purple Dogs. Greenwood is 2, and Springdale Harbor finishes the regular season number 1. Here's a look at where our top 16 are across the state. Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, South Arkansas, Northeast Arkansas, all represented. It should make for a fun couple of weeks for the entire state.
Now, your Silver Star Nation report, brought to you by Steve Landers Toyota.
Six straight losses leave the Dallas Cowboys with their back up against the wall. Mickey Spagnola joins us for the Silver Star Nation report. Mickey, 1 week it's the offense, 1 week it's the special teams, 1 week it's the defense. It seems like Dallas is finding ways to lose instead of finding ways to win.
And actually inventing ways to lose, too, because some of the ways they've lost these games, you sit there and go, in all my born days, I haven't seen. Well, you've seen it here. And you know what? That's usually what happens when teams are in losing streaks like this. It's just the inconsistency of the different units, and you're exactly right. 1 week they play well on offense, the defense crumbles. 1 week they play decently on offense, okay on defense, and then special teams crumbles. They just can't seem to get it all together at the same time, and unfortunately for them, they're starting to run out of time, too. 8 games in the season and sitting there at 2-6.
Darren McFadden has to be a bright spot. It appears he has taken over that running back position.
Yeah, there's no more committee. The committee's been abolished. Darren McFadden's the guy, and boy, he's been a bright spot. 3 games in a row for the first time in his career with at least 20 carries. He's running hard. He's falling forward. I think he's taken advantage of his opportunity. Now he just needs to stay healthy. I think that was always the concern with him. And maybe a little bit concerned with the Cowboys not trying to overuse him and make sure they can get him through a season. Well, now it's the Darren McFadden show for the rest of the year as long as he stays healthy. And I think it's a good thing for him. And obviously it's been a good thing for the Cowboys.
Thank you, Mickey. The Razorbacks finish up exhibition play tonight against Delta State. Keaton Miles getting Arkansas started. Miles, a reserve last year, hits the 3. True freshman Jimmy Witt is in the starting lineup again. Witt needs to produce right away. Smooth-looking jumper. He finished with 14. Hogs played good defense. Willie Kawasi, get that out of here. More good defense from the Razorbacks. Manny Watkins with the steal. Now they're off and running in the Palace. Witt over to Moses Kingsley for the flush. Hogs pulling away, no problem in this one. Hogs win 74-40. Kingsley led the way with 18 points. Dusty Hannas chipped in with 15. Season opener is Friday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The $5 Big Bag Lunch. Pick any 2 to go with your fries, drink, and apple turnover. Only at Hardee's.
As a Ford employee, I get to give my friends a special deal on cars, trucks, and SUVs.
It's friends and neighbors pricing, and for a limited time, we're letting everyone in on this deal.
That doesn't happen every day.
And you can see the low price at Ford.com.
There it is.
And that's the low price you'll pay.
It's that easy.
You don't have to negotiate. It's hassle-free.
It's an inside deal.
Now for everyone.
Now you can get a Fusion using friends and neighbors pricing, offering a value of $5,145. It's an inside deal, only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome to Powerball. There's millions to be won, so let's start drawing. First up, we have today, followed by could, then be. Next up is your, followed by lucky, and our Powerball is day. So the winning message is today could be your lucky day, but only if you play. Right, Nelson?
Play Powerball from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery and celebrate the opportunity to win millions. It really could be your lucky day. It's all in the draw.
Before ITT Tech, I was bartending, and sometimes I had to work 2 different jobs. I worked for Play Network. I'm a network support engineer. I definitely would have gone to ITT Tech much earlier than I did. I don't know what I was waiting for.
Scholarships and financial aid are available for students who qualify. To find out more, call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web. ITT Technical Institute. Education for the future.
You know, I've been missing the boys around here, but I think I got this thing under control. I've come up with a new slogan. That's what Steve said.
He says it a lot. I mean, a lot. And it comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty.
What do you think, guys? I like it myself. You like it? Yeah, what do you think, Scott? Well, yeah, I do. What about you, Junior? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, you're looking good, buddy. That's what Steve said.
Cinnamon Swirl French Toast Breakfast Sandwich, only at Hardee's.
What's important to you in a newscast?
Truthful, informative, professionally delivered.
Speak your mind. Tell the people exactly what's going on, what they need to hear.
The interaction between you and Donna Terrell, professional. That's the word that comes to mind.
You can tell that you guys have worked together for a while. It's almost like family.
Y'all do have a good mix, a good team.
I love the energy. You guys have fun. That's worth watching.
What you want, when you want it. Fox 16, your breaking news leader. News, weather, and what's trending from Fox 16, your breaking news leader.
Here's some breaking news into Fox 16. Investigators say human remains have been found while conducting a search through the debris of a burned house in northern Arkansas.
Now, we reported Monday officials were trying to locate a missing couple whose home and truck was set on fire in Midway. That, by the way, is in Baxter County.
All we can tell you at this point is that the remains are being transported to the state medical examiner's office. The case, however, is now being investigated as a homicide. So be sure to tune in to Fox 16 Good Day for updates on this story, as well as our website, fox16.com.
We're going to finish things off with Jeff.
All right, let's take a look at what we have out there. We're talking about some storms around tomorrow afternoon, especially between about 2 and 6 in the afternoon. That's when you'll have to be on the lookout. After that, those storms will quickly start to push away, but watch out, some very gusty winds with some of those storms.
Okay.
And make sure you say thank you to our veterans tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So long, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.
It's Family Leisure's Ultimate Game Room Sale. The focal point, pool tables, shuffleboard tables, card tables, and bars. The seating, theater seating, sectionals, massage chairs, and bar stools. The accessories, arcade games, game tables, and more. Ultimate Game Room Sale going on now at Family Leisure.
What a drive. Incredible country, really amazing. Music going. I made it here in 9 hours. And from aligning the coordinates, I'm exactly at the prime spot to see the comet. I know, only every 120 years.
Don't miss out on the totally restyled, technology-loaded Corolla. Right now, get $1,000 customer cash, or qualified customers can drive a stylish new 2016 Corolla LE for $169 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
These wings are pretty great.
Yeah.
Huh? What is that?
Oh, it's a wing ring.
What's a wing ring?
I ask it what kind of wings I should have, and it tells me. Today it said honey barbecue.
I want to ask it a question.
Oh, you know what? I got like 2% battery on this thing.
Well, come on, let me just...
Yeah, I wish I could.
You have battery in a ring?
Yeah, it's like 8 gigs.
That's 2 different things. One is memory and one's battery.
Cool. All I know is like, no, you can't use it.
Good luck choosing 100% all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 6 delicious flavors. Or buy one, get one free every Monday night. This is how you Sonic.
10-5, can you believe it? Touchdown!
Yes, it's a touchdown, all right. All over the carpet. It's a stain. It's time for the Boys in Blue. The Boys in Blue can clean your carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout